talked to reporters following meet in his Polar Korean copy Ri Yong-ho, Lavrov named for the gradual lift of sanctions regime on Polar Korea, offering how denuclearization would just be attainable if sanctions regime were scale behind. As we begin discussions on how to solve the nuke issue on the Korean peninsula, it is understood how the decision cannot be inclusive out of the lift of sanctions regime, Lavrov told on to country news story agent Satellite. Lavrov's comments are potential to be met in disappointment in Washington, wherever efforts are underway to persuade Polar Korea to start the trial of nuke disarming front of the At Again Away Again summit conference, previously planned for June 12. Lavrov told he welcomed growing pin among Polar Korea, Southward Korea and the joint state and added how Russia had a overall insight in the Polar Korean Party on the requirement to get the limit thoroughness on which is event now in regulation of creation contacts, normalizing relations among the two Koreas, among the DPRK and the joint state, and avoiding the seduction to consumer demand all at one day. Yet he cautioned versus manufacturing flash moves, to artificial rate the trial, that requires a significant sum of period and a more than comprehensive adjustment of all parts of the pack. Requested if he was worried how Trump card or the following U.S. CEO might disclaim on a transactions, Lavrov told, I am certainly how the Polar Korean Party knows excellently, so the story of latter year or, of year, will define its stance take in expense all factors. Old allies on Thursday for his trip to Pyongyang, Lavrov laid down a flower homage up the statues of CEO Kim Il-sung and lead Kim Jong Un. The length-time Russki overseas secretary has been to the Polar Korean Equity Up, consisting in 2009 for an over circle of talks on Polar Korean disarming. He's not named if Lavrov's meet in Kim Jong Un was planned preliminary to his newest trip. For their face, Lavrov guessed Kim to trip Moscow. Go to Russia. We'll be lucky to include thou, Lavrov said Kim, on to Russki country print. The accession of Russia in the brawl near bipolar Korea comes among a turmoil of world tactful operation, as provincial powers see to construct alliances front of the probable June 12 Trump card Kim summit conference. Over the monthly, Kim Jong Un traversed to the northeast China town of Dalian to encounter in China CEO Xi Jinping, the other meet among the two leaders with March. Yet in spite the reality how Russia and Polar Korea nations set relations 70 years back, the dark one-day throw by Russia has lessened in Polar Korea as Moscow's world impact has waned and its own economics has been shocked by world sanctions regime. Russia has far less than impact or leverage in Polar Korea rather than China does, and how's not since of the war material, he's cleanly since of cash, told Bruce Bechtel, a prof of policy scientific at Angelo Country College who has authored several books on Polar Korea. He told Russia is the just nation some rather than China how presents a likeness of creature and friend to the in isolation mode. How all ended in 1991, told Bechtel, while the Berlin side came downward, communism in the Soviets association and its term state compressed, and Russia outdoor its economical doors to the Western.